2 years ago, I ended in therapy because I didn't understand what my body was telling me. I was meeting the needs of everybody else, everyone around me, and I was trying to live like a pro athlete and a top student at the same time. I burned out and my body gave up, not because I was lazy, but because I was seeing rest as weakness. I was ignoring my age and my physical limits, and it kept going until my body forced me to listen. I stressed out my body and my mind to a point where it becomes really unhealthy for a 14-year-old. And there were some things that I took away from that, and some things that I learned from those experiences. And then in therapy, I got some resolving methods that I got to use again recently. Things that I will keep in my inventory forever. And I also want to share them with you guys, those secrets. You see, I learned some vital things about stress. It's not about fixing your thoughts. It's about changing how much power you give to them. It's not the thoughts itself that are the problem. It is your thoughts about the thoughts that are the problem. So let me tell you how this works. When we feel stress for the first time and we don't know how to manage it, we feel the stress and our body reacts to it. And then we start to panic because the common association with stress is bad. And then we start monitoring it and we check up on ourselves and some stress symptoms every 5 minutes. And then we begin to fight it, and that's what makes it unbearable, because energy flows where attention goes. And there's a common comparison for this. You notice a mosquito bite on your leg and you start scratching it, and then it becomes itchy. So you scratch and it becomes more itchy, and then it becomes even more frustrating and it becomes unbearable. But you can also choose to not give it any attention, that mosquito bite, and then you'll soon forget it. Stress was not what ruined me then. It was me checking in on it every 5 minutes that did. The truth is, I was living in the scarcity of my own thoughts, and I thought that if I didn't try to control them and fix them, I would give in to them and they would win. And the anxiety and the trigger thoughts that brought with it, it made me feel a level of uncomfortability that is unhealthy for a 14-year-old kid if you don't know how to manage it. I can talk about the anxiety and the trigger thoughts for an hour, so I'll save that for another video. But understand that even though you might be scared right now, it will be okay. You'll be okay if you let go and stop trying to control your thoughts. But not right away, because your mind and your body also needs time to notice that you don't give a damn about them anymore. When you let go, you tell your mind that now you're the one that's conscious. And you're the observer. You're not the thought, you're the observer. Lately, my body and my mind has been tense, both mentally and physically. School, work, and this, my passion project, as I call it. I've been feeling numbness, a tight jaw, and tight neck, and headaches, and my heart has been racing a little bit. I know that 2 years ago, I would have panicked, and I would have thought, oh no, it's happening again. And that was even when I was in therapy, because it does take time to get better. But that thought is where the evil cycle starts, and that's where it can all begin to spiral. But I didn't panic this time because I realized it, and instead of panicking, I took a step back and I took a deep breath. Something that therapy taught me was that we don't have to solve every thought. We don't need to analyze it, and we don't even need to give it attention. We simply need to let it be what it is, a thought. Don't fight it, don't resist it, just let it be a thought. One of the 60,000 thoughts we have a day. You don't heal by thinking less, you heal by engaging less. And as I said earlier, it's the thoughts about the thoughts. We all have intimidating and intrusive thoughts. The difference is not who has them. The difference is what meaning we give to them. Let's use an example everybody knows. The thought of what if this goes wrong? We can interpret this in two different ways. By looking at it positively and saying, if I worry about this, it means that I care and it helps me prepare. This interpretation doesn't feel dangerous, but we can also look at it negatively by saying, this is dangerous, I shouldn't be thinking this, I have to control it, how can I stop it? That's when stress wins and you let your reaction to the thought control you. Reiterating myself from earlier. When we start to control our thoughts, we teach our minds that thought that we don't want in our head is important because we give it the attention a thought wants. And the brain is a master of bringing back what it finds important. What I learned was that stress didn't come from thoughts. It came from believing that thoughts were a problem. You don't have to think that you're broken just because your mind is loud sometimes, because you're human. And as soon as you stop treating your thoughts as threats and as them being dangerous, they lose their power. It's not the thoughts that create suffering, it's the relationship with them. I relate to stressful times in a different way now. As I said, I still get myself into them every once in a while. We all do. I'm only 16, so I'm not meant to have everything figured out. And one of the hardest things for me right now is to manage my time properly. A few days ago, I was sitting in class and I felt an uncomfortable sensation going through my body, not one that I haven't experienced before. And my initial reaction to it was to dwell on it a bit. But then I remembered what I had learned. The feeling is allowed to be there, but it's up to me whether to dwell on it and getting frustrating and spending unnecessary time and energy on trying to break it down, or whether I just want to let it be as it is. Now this is, of course, about listening to one's body, but I didn't have to get all anxious about it. I took a deep breath and I refocused on my computer or the teacher or the subject or whatever. And sooner or later the sensation was gone. It's not a cure, rather a form of reworking issues. I let the uncomfortable sensations and thoughts exist while I refocus on what I was in the midst of. I continue doing what I was doing. And this is one of the core messages that my therapist used to tell me. Let it exist while you refocus and continue. I still get stressed and my body still reacts because it's a scar from my past. And I know that many other people feel this way too. It's a scar for many people. And I want to say it's a form of coping mechanism that we try to bury it and control it. But we can't. We're not supposed to. We're supposed to focus on the present moment, not staying stuck in our heads. But the difference is now that I don't get scared anymore. I think the goal should be not to constantly monitor oneself. And that is a freedom that is a key to peace. I still get stressed and my body still reacts. But this doesn't mean that I'm broken. It means that I'm human. Stress isn't failure and it's not something to defeat. It's just information. And as soon as you and I stop fighting our thoughts, we stop fighting ourselves. Peace doesn't come from control. It comes from letting things exist while we keep living our own lives.